Welcome back. Next up, we're going to hear from Alexander Mitrovich on Unique Network, who's going to discuss their NFT parachain on Polkadot and Kusama.
Well, hello, everybody. Thanks, Peter. Welcome to the NFT edition of Polkadot Decoded. I hope that you're still okay, still fresh. Lots of serious topics we're discussing here, even if in relaxed atmosphere like last night. I hope that NFTs can kind of make you laugh a little bit. I promise I will get to that part a little bit later, okay? So I want to start with the vision of NFTs that we have, working on them for a couple of years now. It's no secret, everybody kind of is thinking that we had a very nice boom in NFT space this year. Everybody's talking about it. My favorite radio station is talking about it all the time, all the mass media as well. We are seeing also a lot of interesting activity in the space, a lot of new entrants, a lot of cool new solutions and everything. But our analysis kind of says that actually we ain't seen nothing yet. This is only the first baby cry as it was born, okay? Maybe not the first, there was one splash when CryptoKitties came out, that was fun. But this is a very, very small kind of effect that we will see grow substantially. So the kind of main argument to that is just take a look at the financials, okay? The overall NFT market is probably about maybe 1% of the overall crypto market. What NFTs actually are is the way to tokenize unique assets, right? And if you just take a look around you, unique assets are basically everywhere around us. They start in a mirror, your own selves, and with identity, of course. And then you go into huge markets like real estate, automobiles, certificates, any certificate, educational business, and so on. And you get then to games and art where everybody's focused today. Now, that's because they're easiest to tokenize. They're kind of closest to that overall nature. We did some kind of market sizing analysis, and we think that unique assets are basically on a similar kind of level of wealth as fungible asset classes. And yet in the tokenization space, they're very, very, very small, very niche. They're lots of fun, everybody pays attention to them, but they are still very small. Now, why is that? We believe that is because the tech that we have for NFTs today is not built for NFTs. Unique assets are unstructured data. They are require very powerful technologies to deal with that unstructured data, and the way we kind of like to look at the current kind of blockchain space for NFTs is we are in Web 1 era. Okay, we are in a space where we can basically make a file, mint a file, sell the file. That's it. Then we can resell it. Okay, that's maximum we can do. There are kind of brave experiments, but the tech is really that focused on fungible assets. It's something that really works well on those to a certain extent, but it cannot do much. It's the same, like imagine making Facebook in era of Web 1. You can argue maybe it's possible, but really it's not. You need much, much more powerful technology. So specifically, what we're talking about here is, just some examples of that to justify what I'm saying. To begin with, the most important thing is that the economic structures of the current blockchains are very, very strict. You basically force a user to pay for every blockchain action they take, which, as we all know, in gaming and in art or in any kind of use case, people don't kind of just come and pay for something. You have to kind of tell them something first, right? Gaming industry, which is 80-90% is freemium gaming, first has to make the user kind of get used to the game and like the game, because there are millions of them, and then only they can monetize the gamer. So that strict approach is you have just a little bit of workarounds where you can kind of sponsor that one transaction, making it on layer 2 or just hiding it behind a buy transaction, but that's it. That's all you can do. You can't do much more. You require blockchain knowledge from both the users who need to manage wallets. Okay, you can hide that again for a second or two, but not for long. And then because of the first argument, and then developers need to know the blockchain in order to make things happen. Ethereum is again a good example of here that you have in it just a few transaction types, okay, and then you do everything in smart contracts, which is good for a lot of things, but here for managing unique assets, you need a number of common transaction types, like minting the NFT token or similar. I'm going to get into that. That must be much more efficient, okay, for numerous reasons. And then, of course, there's problems of scalability. We all know about that, okay? So, enter the era of Polkadot. I believe that we have done a lot of stuff in Polkadot. We know it for many use cases, but at least for the NFT space, they are truly third generation blockchain. It is probably the most powerful blockchain technology out there, substrate it is, but then also it is the most flexible one, and that flexibility is exactly what is needed for NFT use cases. That flexibility is everywhere in what guys at Parity built, and thank them for that. Because it starts all with the parachain architecture, where we as a parachain can have our own kind of economy any way we choose. We pay for the mining via parachain slot lease, and we don't have to worry about that anymore. And we can handle the economics to design it for our use cases. And our use cases are NFTs, so we don't have to we can shield our users from the need to compete with DeFi applications, for example, for the space in the blockchain. Okay, we can design the transactions that they're forever cheap, that they are very geared towards what NFTs need to do. Then, of course, the forkless upgrades is something that is very crucial here. I'm going to talk about advanced features we developed, but we have a roadmap of 1 or 2 years worth, 10, 20 man years worth of development of stuff that we can and will put in the blockchain as we develop them, and don't have to wait for that to happen before we launch the chain. And this makes sure that we stay up to date, okay? We don't have to wait for 7 years to change something, okay? So as a result of that power and flexibility, we can create the middleware layer for NFT functionality for the Polkadot and the Kusama ecosystems. Now, I have to say here, there's a lot of activity in the NFT space in the ecosystem, but I cannot even keep up with knowing all of them. There are some games, there are even some art chains, there are many things people are doing. I will be focusing on things we know. We have had this NFT strategy team for Kusama that was reviewed by the council. We're kind of trying to have a concentrated effort to make something really breakthrough. And that's what we have. Okay, so as I said, NFTs today are make the file, mint the file, kind of you need a wallet, and you sell the file via marketplaces. You use smart contracts for some kind of logic around that. Okay, we have that. It's available today, and smart contracts are in ink or in Solidity to begin with. But what we are doing with that is we made a white label marketplace suite, which includes the wallet, the minting solution, the gallery, and the marketplace, which are open source, available for anybody to start their NFT solution, project, business, whatever, in an hour. Okay, all they need is their logo and the domain, and they can connect and they can use this and make their marketplace in an hour. Okay, this is our way of saying, okay, what we have in the NFT space today is just the beginning. Now we get into more interesting stuff. It all begins with the flexible economic models to address the main pain area, which is the friction caused by the blockchain standing in a way to freemium gaming, for example. We developed, as part of our NFT palette, the code that basically allows any DApp, and I'll talk for games here as they're the best example, to make, in a few minutes, a smart contract that will have for them readily available, where they can sponsor the transaction fees for users for as long as they prefer. It will give them full flexibility to create their own economy, adding to that a kind of ability to create their own fungible token and actually pay for the transactions in their token. But the key here is to abstract out the users as long as the game wants it to. They are the specialists. Games know very well how the economy of the game works. We don't know. And certainly we shouldn't dictate them how that's done. Then, of course, we will kind of help them to bootstrap all of that with giving grants for those to almost everybody for those transaction fees for a certain period of time, which will kind of remove from them any need to invest in anything. And then they can use this basic functionality things that I mentioned to integrate. And games will need that as well. They all want to have their own marketplace. They all want to have their own wallets and so on. Then next thing is, among advanced features, is scheduling. A lot of developers in the ecosystem know that Kusama has that capability. We are enabling it for the NFT use cases and for some transaction types, special ones we have. But this is something also that games need a lot for, click and hatch an egg, and then it hatches in 10 hours, okay? That's kind of the most obvious, simple thing. Interoperability, of course, that's everywhere. Everybody knows about Polkadot. So I won't kind of fixate on that, except to say that we do support Ethereum and EVM and all of that stuff, and are developing a lot of SDKs for NFT use cases there. And then finally, something that we envisioned in our tech paper, and actually Remark team has already kind of developed, because they're so awesome and kind of like to hack things. Things like nested NFTs that have relationship to other NFTs. So NFTs that can own other NFTs, that can give birth to other NFTs on chain, that can not smart contract based, natively based. That can increase their value by sending emoticons and all those things. Okay, so that stuff is basis for the real future of kind of metaverses and things like that. Okay, so these are just some of the things of advanced NFT functionality that we already developed or have in development or kind of is close to completion. There's also refungibility. I forgot about that one. That one we also support natively, and all of this kind of difference between smart contract support and native support is actually very significant because, okay, you can do refungibility as a smart contract and make a DAO and all those things. But then if you want to sell those things, they become a smart contract and they are difficult to integrate into kind of bigger marketplaces, exchanges, and so on, because they're not a token, they're a smart contract. So as such, actually to grow that ecosystem, it becomes much more expensive. And if you put it all in as part of Pallet, as we did, it becomes much, much cheaper to grow the ecosystem. And much, not only much cheaper, but much simpler, much more efficient, or, okay, let's not talk about the electricity use. We all know about that. Okay, so that is where the future of NFTs lies, and it's right here at Polkadot, okay? There is a number of projects in the ecosystem already, as I mentioned before, working on a lot of things in the NFT space. Even Gavin Wood made an NFT palette last week. So I just wanted to mention a few here. So this cute thing on the left corner, at least it's left for me. .mog is a very nice, very cute game where a group of developers has made Unity 3D plugin to Substrate. We made kind of proof of concept for that last year, and then these guys just came in and did it, finished it. So you start having some really good looking NFTs here, really good. And they also will need these schedule things and so on. What the Avaya guys are doing is they've been around for a few years and they're doing some awesome stuff in decentralized kind of gaming. They're masters of it. Shaban is going to speak later today in one of the stages about his Crystal Suite that works on multiple palettes. Which is interesting. And then finally, the Remark team that has hacked basically Kusama to make NFTs and is making these very cool, they're making eggs that turn into these birds. Now they have, as I said, they are created nested NFTs and are kind of planning to have very interactive, doing very interactive things with these, where they kind of combine, where you can assemble these things from legs and so on. We are together going to make a palette out of that nested NFTs, and then I don't know if you know about our Substrate punks. We're thinking about many things, what to do with them. Communities thinking about things that they want to do with them. So they made these bodies, and who knows? We'll see. You know, there's a lot of things coming up. Anyway, that's it for me. I have just one last thing to say. I have a gift for all of you. Okay, so this is, I give you, okay, here they are. These are cello bricks. Try to figure out what that means. I can't even, a designer knows. So these are basically a fresh new collection out of the print from the guy who created Substrate punks. They are available for any Polkadot Decoded visitor. They are, you just need to go to this claim NFT bot in Telegram and press start. It's going to ask you for your Polkadot address in any format. You can put in Darwinia format, you can put in whatever, and you'll get your very cute. They're very unique, actually. There's kind of millions of combinations here. So go grab them while they're lost. Our team is standing by in our Telegram channel for any support you need, but this should be very simple, at least for people who are in the Polkadot kind of ecosystem. And then if it's not, they're there to help. But these are, you know, you see they're kind of Lego-like. So we have some very interesting ideas about how to develop them in the future, how to make them kind of grow, how to make combinations, constructs for them, and such kind of things. So that's it for me. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much. There's so much in there. A couple of questions that came into the chat. So first of all, people are interested in how, when, or if they're going to be able to buy just like fractions of a Substerpunk, if there's fractional ownership available already or soon, if that's something that's going to be available for Substerpunks.
Of course it will. That's easy. How about fractional ownership for CryptoPunks?
Yeah.
That's something much more interesting.
Tell me about it.
We'll talk about it kind of in a little while. Let's wait.
Okay, looking forward to that.
Let this be just teaser at this moment.
Nice. Some other things here in the chat. Some of these you've already answered in terms of other sort of partners that you're working with. I have a question here. Will it be possible to put food as NFTs into games, either from a big chain brand or from a famous restaurant or chef?
I like the second one better. It tastes better, but you know, it's IP here is the biggest kind of thing. So the IP owner of that needs to want to do that, and then technical implementation kind of isn't a problem at all. Well, it takes a little bit, you know, and it makes sense if it makes sense economically, but we make it much more economical sense. Some of the people we're working with, you know, there are some really interesting NFT projects out there. And actually, as I said, this is just the beginning. Everybody now saw what Top Shots did, and everybody wants a piece of that action. So, you know, we're going to see content-wise, we're going to see an explosion later this year.
Amazing. Looking forward to seeing more. Thanks for joining us today. Everyone stick around. We'll be back in a few minutes to hear about IoT on Polkadot.
Thank you.